Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Big Fat Video blog. This week I wanted to really talk to everybody about a topic that I've really been thinking about since since we've been in quarantine for so long, and now the world is sort of starting to open up. Of course, as I've said before, please stay vigilant in, protecting yourself and protecting others. Wear a mask until a vaccine is present, and then also, just generally practice good, safe social distancing guidelines in order to be safe. But what I really wanted to talk about was the revelations that I've come across while I've been under quarantine and really have been, you know, working from home a lot. I have been going into the office at least like 1 to 2 days a week just to kind of keep my brain going. But then also to really let you know about like just some of the things that I've been thinking about as I've been at home and really where I want the direction of my life to go. But then how this all ties into you guys is sort of needing to know what you want to see out of my blog. I've been doing this since October of last year. Some of the stuff got really great, responses early on, like with cooking and, that type of stuff. And if that's more of what you want to see, let me know. I'm just really at a loss to find out what content to generate for you. I know for me, I'd love to talk more about like video games and my interests and talk about highlights from those games. But ideally, it's all about you guys and what you guys really want. So that's why I really would love to hear your comments in terms of what you would love to see from this channel. And I'll continue putting out content with what I feel is fun or enjoyable for me, But if there's something you as the audience want, that is really important because I want to do things that are fun for you. I think, part of the revelations is I think as I've talked in my videos in the past, I've been a gainer since 2004, and, I really haven't had much of a boost overall in body weight, probably since like 2012. 2013 was the last time I had a boost. That was sort of when I hit around like the 435, 440 mark. And over the course since then, I've gained probably about maybe like 35, 40 pounds, but really like the bulk of my gaining days as a whole are kind of in the past, and I think I've been really for the last like 8 years really have been trying to find a way to make my gains progress. But as I've gotten a lot older, I'm starting to develop like hip issues and back pain, and I'm starting to realize that in my life there's a lot of things that I have on my bucket list I want to do before I go. And I think before this all started, I think I was like, oh, I have time to do that, or I'll get that when I can. But I think when the quarantine kind of happened, and as I've seen the news and seen so many people die, some that were like younger than me, and I'm going to be 36 in 3 weeks. I'm ancient. I hear people that are younger dying than me, and people that that don't have a lot of medical conditions like I do. Well, I don't have a lot of medical conditions. I have high blood pressure, and I have a hip problem, which is contributes to lymphedema. But that's really it. I have pre-diabetes, but that's pretty well controlled. So I really don't have a lot of medical conditions. I'm very fortunate. Um, don't have any heart problems or anything like that. But there's part of me that still wants to do a lot of travel. Like, and I cannot knock this out of my system. And I think before quarantine, I was like, it's something I don't really need, or it's something I don't need to do. But I think now that I'm in quarantine and I'm sort of starting to come out of it, I'm sort of realizing like how important it is to me to do this stuff that's on this bucket list before I go. Not that I plan on going, you know, I do. I can tell you that the average age of guys that live in my family usually is until about the age of 70. And on my dad's side, the guys usually tend to go around in their early 60s. So I guess if I went over that, I probably would be more than halfway to that time. I know it's kind of a morbid thing, but then again, you know, a lot of my ancestors had, you know, alcoholism and, you know, narcotic abuse and suicide and all of these like really dark things that I am fortunate enough not to really have. I just have high blood pressure, and that's really it. I mean, I don't have anything else. I have sleep apnea, but that's really well controlled with the use of a machine. But the key thing is the hip pain. That has been something that has just been like a real fucking horrible thing to deal with, and it's been awful, you know. And I've went to doctors, and they pretty much just tell me, oh, it's weight loss or whatever, will help you, blah 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 blah. Which I mean is kind of true. Like I mean, it really would help. I think that there is something there more. And then just to let you guys know, really what kicked it off is back in 2007 ish, 2008. I had an incident where I was taking a shower, and I spilled body soap. I'm such a dumbass. I spilled body soap on the floor, and what happened was when I went to go step down, I slipped and I pushed forward, and I literally did like a 180 in the bathroom, and I like twisted like all the ligaments in my leg. And I was a medical assistant at the time, so you think my dumbass would have been, you know, to my doctor and been like, hey, I need to get physical therapy or whatever. But I didn't because I was busy, and we were constantly needing to be staffed clinic, and my work, as you know, I've told you in other videos, is so important to me. Like I love working, I love getting out there, I love helping people, I love working with people. And so for me, I never got it addressed. And now I am like dealing with this horrible, awful thing. But on the other hand, I do know that there is ways to make it better. And, you know, one of the ways is for, you know, weight loss. Now, before I start losing subscribers, I would like to reiterate to everyone out there is zero plans for me to lose weight. I am not going to do that. The reason why is periodically in my life I have tried to lose weight in the past. And every single time I did it, it resulted in like horrible depression. Like it wasn't just because like I didn't have food to eat or as a change in my regimen or whatever. It really was a result of like me, and I apologize for the background noise. There's stuff outside. It's because I actually like needed to let I feel like more comfortable being in a larger body, if that makes sense. It's like a weird sense of like body dysmorphia, but like I've said before in other videos, I've been to doctors or whatever, and they're like, you don't have body dysmorphia. This is just like your natural body and like what you're supposed to be in. And so, anyway, anytime I try to lose vast amounts of weight, it's never a good thing. I end up super depressed, and I actually do end up gaining, and I end up gaining because I'm not like trying to get back up to a body weight that I normally am. I end up gaining because like I get super depressed and I just eat food because I'm depressed, And it's not really healthy food. And so for me, the best way for me to kind of manage my own mental health, but also my own physical health, is just this kind of like have this like do what you can approach, which, I try to eat healthy food when I can. I do have my occasional days where I don't do that. They're quite occasional, but I do I do try to eat healthy when I can, and I try to be mindful of what I'm eating and all of that. But I guess really what I've kind of concluded out of this is I'm sort of at this state in my life where I like being a big guy, but in order for me to accomplish all of these things that I want to do, I can't really get a lot bigger. Um, I I can't really imagine myself going to London or you know doing all of these things like going to London, going to different countries or whatever, being like well over 500. Like I could totally see myself maybe gaining like 10 more, 10 to 20 more pounds, but I don't really see myself going over that. And I'm about 475 right now. So I guess I'm sort of at this place in my life where getting a lot bigger really like isn't a horrible thing. But it's also not something that I really like want to do because there's so many other things that I need to do on a practical level. Now, sexually, I know a lot of you out there watching this have the same thing. Sexually, I'm totally like a gainer in that mentality. Like anything like that involves gaining gets me off. Me being like with another big guy or even a smaller guy, having the sense of contrast really gets me going. Me, food play, not like messy food play, but just food play in general gets me going. And then, more like wrestling kind of stuff, like being on top of somebody and, them being on top of me and they're really big and I'm smaller or vice versa. That gets me going. And I also really love to encourage. Like I really enjoy it. And I think part of people are like, you're really weak at it. And I think it's because my voice is very like soft and it's kind of high pitched and it's really hard for me to be like dominant for others. Like I'm not a dominant force. I don't come across as dominant. I come across as like squishy and like cherubic, that people have said that I'm like that. So I think that's been hard, but there is a part of me that absolutely loves to encourage people and kind of be more of that, like wanting to help people get bigger. So I guess all of this to be said, I think for me, I've entered this stage in my life. I'm going to be 36 in a few weeks, so I'm going to be even more ancient. I'm halfway into the, genetically predisposed grave, and I just don't foresee myself getting a whole lot bigger to do all this stuff. Now, who knows? Like, maybe I accomplish all of it and I decide to blimp out and I've experienced the world and I become like a housebound, massive guy and that's that. I've done everything and that's where we're at. But for now, I think my goal is to pretty much be like more of a passive gainer and a maintainer, but also an encourager. I don't foresee myself getting like super gigantic just because of all these other goals in my life. So it's more of a practical thing. But like I said, if I end up gaining, then, it happens and so be it. And, I'm not going to freak out about it. I just know that weight loss is not something that is good for me on good for me on a mental level. It never ends well. And, so I've just been one of those things where I do what I can, and that's really all that you can do. So yeah, and then I think revelation wise, I think another one is that I really enjoy my job, but I think that I've been really thinking about like where is it going, and so professionally, I'm also thinking about growth. Like what's next, and that's another thing for another video altogether on my thoughts on how to be like successful at work. But I think like I'm also entering this stage of my life where, okay, I'm getting kind of bored of what I'm doing. Like I need to do more. I need to get out there and do something more with my career, or find out what to do next. So it's been good. I think for me, the quarantine has been really good. I've really been able to connect with myself more. I've been able to like kind of true up with myself and be like, hey, like this is, really what you want your life to be from like going forward. So I feel like I have more of a direction now. Um, so yeah, that's really it. Sorry, I know this video was just me talking. But again, give me some ideas as to what you would want to see. Just because like I'm not like in super gainer mode with my life doesn't mean I can't do like fattening food videos. If you want me to share some tips and tricks, like recipes that worked for me in the past when I was like gaining a lot, let me know. I'm always happy to do these things. Like I said, even though like I'm modifying my goals in my gaining career, and really saying like I'm no longer super an active gainer, that I'm more of a passive one now. I think I still love gaining. I still love all of that. I still love the fat community. That stuff is never changing, ever, ever, ever. That is hard coded into my DNA. So yeah, I just want you to know that. So yeah, if you want me to cover anything, do any other videos, just leave it in the comments below. I'm always happy to do so. And again, hope you all are doing safe and doing well, and staying safe and practicing social distancing and doing all the things that we need in order for us all to remain healthy and well during this time. So again, thank you so much. Hope you're eating and doing well, and talk to you at the next video. Bye.